Okay, D major, here we go. Ready, and... Yeah, that's the D in major in 1.5 octaves, okay? Let's do it again, and after we're finished doing it again, this time we're going to try to get it a little bit more bang on. Then I'm going to show you how to do D major in 2 octaves, because at the end of this tune, in the J. Younger version, he goes up to the high D, and I might as well show you how to do it. Not that you have to do it, but it would be good to show you how you go up there, what finger you use to play it, and the easiest way to practice it, okay? But first, let's just do that again. Same thing, D major, 1.5 octaves. Here we go. Ready, and... Okay, right on. So there you go. Now, to go up to the second octave of D major, I remember I had to do it when I was about 12 or 13. It's when I learned how to do D major in the second octave. And so you got to shift to the third position, all right? And that's where your first finger takes the place of your third finger. Up you go there. Woohoo! My friend Kim used to call this the dusty end of the fingerboard. Because we don't really go up there that often in fiddle in Scottish and Irish. Sometimes, certainly, and you want to be able to do it, but it's not very often. But anyway, and we do that on the A string when we practice A, D major in 2 octaves. So we play on we start on the D. And after playing the C sharp, we hop up there and play D with the third fingers, with the first finger. And then we pile on the fingers. And there's the high D. See that? E4 in the third position on the E string. See that? That's the high D. And that's how you practice it. Now, the reason that they make you jump up there on the A string is because most of the time you shift on the A string. Most of the time when you need to go to third position, that's where you go from. And when you do it on the scale, it gives you a little bit more time to practice up in third position. And it shows you where those notes are. Like, for instance, the E string. The E string is here when you put your 2 down. See that? And then your 4 before you go over to the 1, that's your high A. See? So it gives you a little more practice in there. One thing you might notice when we go up there is that the notes are closer together as you go up the neck of the violin. So just like a mandolin, you look at a mandolin, you see the frets get closer together as you go up the neck. See that? Same with the spacing on the fiddle. The spacing is a little bit closer when you go up to third position. So you might find that. And I find when I play my high D, it's always sharp, and I have to kind of tuck it down below my third finger, like get it in there to get it in tune, okay? But it depends on your hand. So let me demonstrate it once more, and I'm going to put my tuner on so you guys know I'm not lying. Okay? And I'll show you how to do that. So we start on the D. Up we go. See that? And that's a bang. You hear that's a ringing D there. See that? Now you don't get near as much of a ring because it's a very short string, but it does ring when it's in tune. Now I'm going to come down. Okay, and that's how you do D major in 2 octaves. And then when you do the arpeggio, that's how you do the arpeggio. You see that? So that's how you do it. Shall we give it a crack? Why not? All right? So nice and easy. Give yourself time to get up there. Ready, and... Here we go. Okay, that's the D major in 2 octaves. You have a problem, Debbie?
So I got okay when I got up to, well, I don't know that I hit the note right, but when I got up to here, is it close?
Yeah, basically, if you look at my... The only gap is between the 1 and 2 there. It's a small one, though. That's the whole tone.
But that's not the big issue anyways.
Okay.
Where do you go when you get down? Then what do you do?
A4. Stay there. Go A4.
And then just go...
No. Stay up there.
Oh, up here. Okay.
That's it there. Yes. Okay. That's good to clarify that, though. Anybody else having any problems like that? Let's do it again right away. Same thing right away. Okay. D major in 2 octaves. Getting your fingers dusty. Ready? Go. All right, did it go better that time? Yeah. Now, Pearl, you were talking about a 3 octave D scale.
Yeah, I haven't played it too many times, but you get... And then you have to shift, like... And it just keeps going higher and higher and higher.
Yeah.
It's not fun. I recommend doing the G 3 octave one first.
Yes, definitely. I would agree with that for sure. And definitely with fiddle music, it's very seldom that we go that far up. The only tune that I can think of that goes all the way up there is the Sean Maguire variations to the Mason's Apron. Have you guys ever heard of the Sean Maguire variations to the Mason's Apron? No. Oh my God. So there's about 17 of them, first of all. And they go right up the neck of the fiddle, right up to sixth position where Pearl was talking about there. And it's a great tune, but so you guys know what the Mason's Apron. Right? And then so the third part. That's his idea of the next part. And then he goes. So that's one of the variations, so it kind of stays up there, you know, but that's the only time that I can think of that you would have to go that far up the neck. Did you notice that the further up Pearl got, up the E string there, the thinner the sound got? Did you notice that? Yeah. And that's because when you shift up, you got a very short string length, and so you're producing less and less sound. You know, you have to use more bow and really work hard to get that little tiny bit of string vibrating.
Well, don't you also play that? I'm not going to get the right name of it. It's really one of the hardest Celtic pieces. I know you played it. It's really, really hard, really hard fiddle piece.
Is it Tullochorrum?
Yeah.
Oh, that doesn't shift.
Oh, it doesn't? Oh,
no.
Sounds like...
It's all that tune is really hard, and those are the J. Scott Skinner variations to that tune. I don't know if anybody of you guys have had the Skinner book, the J. Scott Skinner book. When you open the very middle of the book, that's where all the Tullochorrum variations are. The original is a tune called The Reel of Tulloch, which was a castle in Scotland, and it's just the first two parts, just that nice little Strathspey in the key of G. But then Scott Skinner put all those variations on, and they're all rhythmic variations. So they always say that he tripled it, and then he doubled it, and he quadrupled it, you know? So you do the triplets. And then you do the 16th notes. And then you do just the doubles, which is the hardest. Anyway, so that's the way it takes. It's all rhythmic variations, and it is really, you need some pizzazz to be able to pull all that off, you know. I tried it for a school presentation the other day. I haven't played it in a long time, and, you know, it could have gone better. Definitely could have gone better. But anyway, let's try that scale once more, guys, while we got it out. D major, 2 octaves, doing our best. Ready, and... up we go. Okay, now let's try the arpeggio just for the crack. Let's see what goes wrong, okay? So we got the D, F sharp, A string, up we go, 1, whoops, 3, E1, 4, 1, 3, 1, A, F, D. that's how you do that. All right? Now, if you're having trouble, if you're really getting into it, you really want to be able to hop up there, which is a lot of fun. I love going up there. I usually do it when I'm playing with singers because that way I can get out of their range and not play in and around their range. It's an easy way to do it. But the best way to practice hopping up to third position is this way. You play the 3. So you play open A and then the 3. Make sure it's in tune. And then open A, the 1. Make sure that's in tune. Do it again. Open A, 3. A, 1. That one wasn't quite in tune. You hear that? 3. Open, 3. Open, 1. Open, 3. And then you start having a little bit of a success rate there. It's starting to work. Then you put the pressure on. You do it in one bow. It really puts the pressure on. It's like, ah! So, and it gives you practice getting up there, all the way up there the first time. Okay? So anyway, that's how you work on D major in 2 octaves. And that's the very first time that they make you go up to third position is when you try to do that scale in 2 octaves. All right? Now, a Shogun farewell. So first of all, I'm going to look at this music that I just sent out, that Debbie just sent us.
I still think I have another better version somewhere, but I'll look for it.
Okay, let's see. Oh, this looks really good, though. This is
not for today, but I'll send it to you when I find the other one.
This is great. This is nice and simple and easy to read, and it's got the high D. It's got everything, really. So now, first of all, I'll play it a couple of times. All right, you guys can get it in your head. Is everybody looking at? Yeah.
Can you share it on your screen when we go to play it? Because my phone is so small I can't see.
I'll put it on the chat window.
Thank you.
No problem. Let me download it first, though. Okay, so much clicking in my life. Download. Okay, and now I go to Zoom and I do the chat window. More clicking. Where's the chat? Here it is. And I do File, Your Computer. Yeah. No, that's not it. Wait, Shogun farewell. Perfect. Okay, so it's up on the chat window. So you should be able to open it right there on the screen now. Okay, so first of all, I'm just going to play it. Just exactly as it is here on the music. So I'm not confusing, etc. and so on. That's her. Very familiar sounding tune. So everybody see how it's structured there. It's very simple, eh? It's actually quite a simple tune. So it's just these little scales down. Da 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 da. And then you do it again, except this time on the D string. Da 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 da. Then you got this arpeggiated bit. See how that's just a straight up D major arpeggio there. That's all that is. And then we do our scaly bits again. And then another one. Another arpeggio. And then an A major arpeggio. And then a big D to finish. And that's how the A part is structured. See that? Scale down again, arpeggiate back up, little lick. Scale down again, arpeggiate back up, arpeggiate again, and you're out. You're into the B part. Okay? So first of all, let's just take a look at the first phrase with the scales. Now this pickup notes are an A and a C. And then you can go do the big D. And it's a scale that skips D3. Okay, so we scaling down. Down we go. And right to the F sharp. Okay, and then we scale up again to the G and back down. Do the same thing, skip the 3, G2, and then open D. So let's see if we can get that phrase there, guys. All right? The nice thing about a slow tune is that you learn it slow, you play it slow. Okay, so let's give that a try. Ready, and... Okay, we'll do the next bit there. Let's practice that opening again, because it comes along again in the A part, so we might as well get good at it. Okay, an A and a C, and then down we go. Ready, and... Oh yeah, that's looking good. One more time to be sure, and then we'll move on. Ready, and... Now, the big D major arpeggio. And then a big E. Okay, that's how that works. So let's start at the low A there. And then we'll arpeggiate our way up, okay? So we got the low A. Ready, and... D, F, A, D, F, another F. Yeah, okay, let's do that again. Ready, for low A. Ready, and... And then we do our first bit again. All right? So let's try that. Let's go right from the top and see how far we can get. I bet you we can get almost all the way to the ending because we pretty well learned it all. So let's do that. Ready? A and C. Now we go to the A, C, E, and then the D. And that's the whole A part. That's it. You guys look like you did excellent. I know looks aren't everything, but It looked great. Let's do it again right away. Same thing. Oh. My bad back has come back with a vengeance. I don't know why. I was hoping that the surgery would take care of it, and it seemed to for a day or two, and now it's back. So it's physiotherapy time for me. Okay, here we go. Ready, and... Do it all again. Okay, how do we do, everybody? Is there anybody having any problems with that A part? Oh, look at Susan's massager. Oh, I'm envious of that. That's nice. And she got the heat on it too. See that? Lower back massager. Oh, I want that. Where'd you get that, Susan? Oh, you're muted though. You got to tell me where you got it.
Amazon, $49.
$49. Wow, that looks like a good. I got a full size back one like that's an Obus form, and it's good. But the small one would be way better for here.
Way better. Yeah. It does work at the office because I've got a chair that has a spacer in it, but it works at home.
Yeah. And you're at home now, right? That's it.
Yep.
You're probably never going back to the office ever.
Oh, I go once a week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody's from home now. I don't know. I don't know who's going to go back to work. Like, my buddy Ross is definitely not going back to his office at TD Bank, and none of his team. Like, that whole floor is probably going to be empty now at TD Bank, which is amazing to me. We'll see what happens. Anyway, anybody having any problems or comments or questions about any of the A part there? You can hear some double stops I'm putting in there, eh? That's kind of, if you were to completely and fully double stop that part, that's how I would do it. I saw Pearl was trying out some of that while we were doing it. Those are all the ones that I use in there, okay? And I think we're taping all of this, so you can go back and you can look and see what fingers I'm using where. But for instance, I'm always doing that. Notes on the D string, play the A string along. Notes on the A string, play the E string. See that? No-brainer. And then the ones at the end is the third. That's E1 and A3 at the same time. And then A2 and open E at the same time. That's what I'm doing in that A part. Let's practice it a couple of more times. You can try out a few things and we'll move on to the B part. All right. Ready, and... everybody's very cheerily moving their bow nice there, so I'm going to assume that's good, okay? Anybody has any questions, just let me know. Now, with the second part, let's see here. That's the first phrase, and then the second phrase, a little keeps going down. So let's see if we can get that much there, guys. Just the first couple of phrases. So we scale up to the A, arpeggiate, big D, scale up, back over to the F, and scale right down to the bottom, and then it's A to A. Let's try that much. Nice and slow. Second part. Ready, and... right down. Okay, that's the first phrase of the second part. Let's try that again. Same exact thing, except better. Ready, and... Now we got this really cool thing here. C natural. This is the note that flummoxed Brian McIntyre, Sandy's son. Like every time we played this tune together, he's like, what am I supposed to play there? And it's just a gorgeous part of the tune. And then a little scale up. And then this arpeggiated thing. But then it goes right down. And that's how that goes, okay? And that's the first time we end it. Then we repeat and go up to the high D. Let's see if we can get this second phrase now there, guys. So it goes... Okay, so starting with the little scale down to D from the F. Ready, and... C natural. Then the B. Up we go. Arpeggiate. That looked like it went really good. Let's do it again just like that. Ready, and... Watch out for that C sharp, of course, on the G string. One more time with that phrase with the C natural, and then we'll do the whole B part. Ready, and... Okay, cool. Anybody having problems with either of those phrases in the B part? No? It's very simple. It's such a gorgeous tune. You know, whenever people compliment me on playing this tune, sometimes they don't know where it came from and they think it's an old tune. They think it's a really old tune. And it sounds like a really old tune. Like, you would never know that it was written in the 80s. Like, you'd never think that in a million years. It's just got that sound. That's what they used to say about Dan R. Sound as well, Dan R. McDonald. They used to say that he wrote tunes that sounded like they were from the late 1700s, even though, you know, he lived in the 50s and 60s, you know. I always admire that. Anyway, so let's try now the whole B part with that first ending, and then we'll try getting the high D there after we make sure we get this real good. Okay, so the whole B part. We're ready, and... All right, that looked like it was pretty uneventful. Yes, Deborah?
You say the B part, but is there really a B part?
Yeah, there should be. Like I noticed that about this version as well. I always repeated both parts of this tune ever since I can remember, but I'm not sure if he. I'm pretty sure he meant that first part to be repeated. But you see, there's a double bar.
When you play, I'm sorry, when you played it for us, you did go back to there. You didn't go back to the beginning.
I went back to.
You
I played the B part twice.
Yeah.
And here it has it written twice. You see, that's got a first and second ending. So I think that might be a bit of a typo. I think the A part is repeated. I'm pretty sure it's all. I've always repeated it ever since I played it. You know. So the B part would start then. You see, there's a double bar line on the fourth line, at the end of the fourth line. That's where it's gonna. That's where it's gonna be. And the F sharp and the G there, those are just the pickup notes.
Yeah.
For the B part.
Yeah, you're right.
But like I said, I always repeated it. Sandy, he used to repeat the A part the first time around, but then the second time we played the tune, he would just play it single. And that's an old trick that I use in the bars too, because bar people never hold attention for very long. So sometimes you gotta single a slow air so that you get through it quicker. Anyway, and Sandy was a big user of that trick. That might be why it's written out this way. But I think we should repeat both parts. It's so beautiful, we might as well. Okay? Now let's take a look at the second ending that goes up to the high D. So it's just an arpeggio like we practiced already. Just like that. It's very simple. And that's it. Okay? So it's scary looking, but it's doable. Let's do it really, really slow. Okay? We'll start that right from the very, very last line there. We'll start that arpeggio. Okay? On the low A. Here's a low A if you're wondering. Okay, let's try that arpeggio. Ready, and... And then the F. And that's it. Let's do that again, guys. Same thing. Ready, and... Okay, and that's how you do it. So why don't we try now the B part with the second ending, the second time around. Okay? So let me get this up so I can see it for sure. Yes. Okay, so we're starting the whole B part, but this time we're going to go to the second ending. Ready, and... funny. I was playing with my buddy Brian there not long ago, and he had just gotten his fiddle back from Heinel. He got it all fixed up, new strings and everything. And we were playing, wasn't this one, it was a tune called Trim the Velvet. Have you guys ever heard of that tune, Trim the Velvet? It's a hard one, and it goes up to the dusty end of the fingerboard there. And we were playing it, and then we got finished, and he said, I don't know, I'm going to have to call Heinel, because I think they moved my high D. Anyway, shall we try the whole tune now? Let's give it a go, the whole thing. And let's repeat the A part there, guys, just for the practice anyway. It's good practice. A, A, B, B. Ready, and... Repeat. Sorry about that. I was not reading the music, and I always go down low. I never end high, but this music ends high, which is good too. Lots of people end high too. So how did everybody do? How do you feel about that? Anybody having any problems? Good. Pearl's good. Yes, Stacy. Problems?
I'm good till I get to that last high bit where I have to shift. I just have to practice it a bit.
The shifting, if you've never shifted before, it's gonna take some doing. And I would really suggest doing it on the scale and arpeggio. Okay, and actually, it's gonna serve you quite well because that whole part is an arpeggio. So the more you practice that arpeggio, this part will just slip right in there.
What point do I shift the strings there?
On the A string.
On the E string?
A string.
Oh, A string. Gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yep. So you would hit on the D. That's where you're going to be. If you want, a lot of people get along really good putting a little 1 over the D. Okay, because usually you'd use your third, but now you're going to use your 1. Or an arrow. When I was a kid, I used to use an arrow, an up arrow, to show this shift up on this note. You know what I mean? But I find the 1 is a little bit more direct. You just put a 1 above that note. Okay. Any other questions about that or anything else about this tune before we grind away at it? How you getting along, Bev? You had it before?
Fine, thank you. I tend to shift on the E. It's good practice, though, to do it on the D, so I'll try that.
Well, I mean, getting good at both is really good, but you might find that going up on the A string gives you a little bit more freedom once you're up there.
Yeah, so I'll work on that. Thanks.
Okay, and you getting some of those double stops and stuff in?
Yeah,
That's good.
now the double stop, the F sharp when you first start, the first F sharp.
Yeah, with the open A.
Are you doing that with a high A or a low A?
No.
Are you double stopping with an A?
So that one there, that's an open A. Very classic double stop in the key of D. Use it all the time. Yes, Pearl, how are you getting along? Have you ever done this tune before?
I haven't, but it's easy to catch on. I think I've memorized the first line in a bit now.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, can we add stuff like grace notes on the really long notes, like
Oh, yes.
rolls and stuff?
Give me a little. Play me what you were thinking.
Oh god, I don't have the music. Okay, so.
Okay, now that is really, really cool, but one thing I will warn you about, there's a big difference between ornament and melody, right? And for instance, and sometimes it's easy to get those mixed up. So for instance, this here, that's the melody. So if you did it like this, it would change the melody. Do you see what I mean? And you can play with it a little bit. I know people play with that a little tiny bit. But one thing about ornaments is that it doesn't usually change the melody a lot unless it replaces a bit of the melody, which does happen sometimes. What might serve you better in the opening phrases is to put grace notes between the notes, which is a real Scotchy Irishy thing to do. See that? See how that works there? Are you still muted? Oh, she's muted. You get the idea though?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I'm pretty sure you can manage that. And that, putting the grace notes in between the notes on a scale, very Scotchy Irishy thing to do. You'll get used to it. You'll be doing it all over the place, man. Okay, great question though. Really good question. Anybody else have any questions about any of this? Like that. I love those questions. No? Okay, great. Let's do it again. Yes, Deborah.
Would you be able to give us some music that shows where the double stops would go?
Oh God, I'm terrible at that, but I'll give it a crack. Let me write it down.
Well, there might be versions with double stops. I'll look online to see.
You know, the only thing about that, like, you have a great idea, like, play, especially with slow airs, because that's one of the big things that you do with slow airs to dress them up, is to add double stops, right? Because we don't have a lot of time for, or a lot of space for rolls and stuff like that, because you're going so slow. So, but the only problem I find when you get versions of tunes online that have all the double stops written out is that it's just way too dense. They usually put way too many in there. And sometimes they're hard combinations. So I think it would be a good idea to try putting in some of the simple ones that I do that I think are manageable by you guys. You know what I mean? So I'll write that down. So, double stops for a Shogun.
And I also thank you because I know we ask a lot of you to do extra, so I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem, but it all adds to the YouTube channel. It's good for everybody. Don't you worry about it. And I've got nothing else on, you know? I did my hernia walks today every hour and a half. So that's basically that, and this is all I've got going on. So it's quite all right. Anyway, so let's give her another go there, guys, from the top. Ready, and... Okay, how was it that time, besides my gaff again? Everybody doing okay? Okay, so we practice it there this week. We'll do it again next time. I'd like to talk about things like putting a little wiggle on the notes, a bit of vibrato. I'm sure there's some people that would probably like to try working on that, you know. I have a little system for getting vibrato into tunes that seems to work really good. There you go. See, Deborah's got the... oh, look at that. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Now I do the finger vibrato, eh? That's what... So that's where I kind of tighten the movement down to just my finger. Now my dad, he would have done what Deborah was doing there, arm vibrato. He loved that. He did a wide vibrato. Where I do a tight one and I just use my finger. See that? And if you really want to get scotchy, then you almost take your finger off. Just like this fella here, Winston Scotty Fitzgerald. That's the way he used to do it. And it was very Scotchy Gaelic sounding way to do it. But anyway, so that's just the finger vibrato for me. But it's different for everybody. What kind of vibrato do you use there, Pearl?
I use arm vibrato usually, just because I usually use vibrato with classical pieces like Bach.
Absolutely.
So.
Yeah, there you go. And see, the arm vibrato is kind of your gateway into vibrato, period. Like, it's really hard to do it just with your finger when you first start trying to do it. When I first started trying to do it, this is what it sounds like. It sounded like Suzuki String Camp, 1987, I think it was. So... and then the second finger. Just like that. And then after a while, that would get us to increase the number of warbles per bow. And then even more. And that's when I started to tighten it down, see? And you go from big to small. Everything with the violin is big to small. The bow arm, the intonation, everything you do on the big scale, and then you tighten it down. You figure out how to do it on the small scale. And that's how I approach the vibrato when I'm doing vibrato. And always remember as well that with fiddle music, with the Scottish and Irish music, we use a tiny bit of vibrato at the very end of the note. So if you imagine, a classical violinist would play it like this. Right? But I don't do it. I go like this. See the difference there? You hear the difference? It's one of the dead giveaways of a violinist playing fiddle music, that they can't stop doing vibrato from one end of the note to the other. Like, they just can't stop. And I've had a few people in my studio trying to switch gears. One of the first things they're trying to do is stop that vibrato. The other thing they do that's a dead giveaway is they give every note a length, whereas we kind of hammer the fiddle, belt the note out there in one swoop. Whereas everything they play has a length, and it makes it kind of easy to see that it's a violinist playing fiddle music. But anyway, so keep that in mind when you're working on the vibrato. We don't use a lot. We use a tiny little bit at the end as we speed up our bow. There's a nice swell there, nice feeling, as my dad used to put it. Feeling, lots of feeling. Shall we try one more time with lots of feeling? And then we'll practice our jigs there from last time. And I will not gaff the end this time. I will do the upper octave. I will read the music. Okay, here we go. Ready, and... Okay, good looking up bows at the end. Looks pretty confident. Everybody feeling good about that now? They can go and practice that, put some tricks in there, some fancy frilly stuff. It'd be lovely, okay? Now, let's check out the jigs. So we got the Cliffs of Moher and the mug of brown ale. Let me pull those up so I don't confuse anybody. Downloads, I think. Let's see here. Cliffs of Moher. Ah, here we go. We'll start with that. We'll practice that a few times, and then we'll get the mug of brown ale happening too. Oh yeah. Now, Pearl, are these tunes that you had ever heard of before? The Cliffs of Moher or the Mug of Brown Ale?
No, I typically play old time and East Coast Canadian fiddle, so I'm not well versed in the art of Celtic fiddle.
Well, you're going to get well versed. Now, I will tell you, though, that all the Canadian fiddle players that I know, like Shane Cook or Kyle Sharon or Pierre Schreier, they all play both of these tunes. Okay? Especially the Cliffs. The Cliffs of Moher is one of the really, really big popular tunes that you get at every session. So a real good one to have under your belt, okay? Anyway, so you're going to be reading it. That's okay. I'm sure you're up for the challenge. And we're going to go there kind of easy going there, guys. And we're going to practice this Cliffs of Moher a few times. And we'll practice the Mug of Brown Ale a few times. And then we'll smash them together, okay? And next time we'll learn Connaughton's Rambles. And I have to stop at 8:30 tonight because I got to do these stupid hernia walks. I'll be finished them on Monday. On Monday, I can start exercising like usual, and I don't have to interrupt my life every hour and a half. Okay, Cliffs of Moher, nice and easy. Ready, and... All right there, people. How did we do with the cliffs? Doing okay. Nobody seemed to stop or get injured or anything like that, so that's really good. Now, Pearl, how you doing with it? Brand new to it. You doing okay?
Yeah, I practiced it a bit when we had a break from school.
Oh, good. Okay, that's great. Awesome. That's very good. Anybody else having any issues? Can we try the other one? Should we try the mug of brown ale? Let's do it. The mug of brown ale. Okay. Deep da deep da dee da da da. Okay, nice and slow to start with. Ooh. Okay, it'll do. Okay, nice and easy. Ready to go. Whoops. Master! Again! All right, how we doing? How we doing? Feeling good? That's great. That's great. So now we will put them together. We will play them twice each, but we got to take a little breather first. Stretch the old shoulders and stuff. Roll it out. My God. Jeez. Oh, this would be 5 hours for me today down here. It does get to be a lot of time. That could be what's bothering my back. I think it's definitely what's bothering. So I got to still wait. I got to notice that the expensive chair has been shipped, which is great, except 12 days. It's going to take 12 days. I've been waiting 5 weeks, and it's going to take another 12 days to get here. My God. Anyway.
Can you put one foot up on a couple of books and alternate?
I can't do anything, Melanie. I'm so bad because when I'm playing the fiddle, I pound my foot against things and I swivel and I slouch and I do all kinds. I'm just the worst patient in the world. So that's why I'm hoping the $1,100 chair is going to sort it out. You know, just throw money at the problem. Anyway, okay, 2 of them together, twice each, and we'll do it at that speed. Now, that's the speed where, let me just tell you what that is. It's about 75, okay? So it's a little bit of a push on the tune, all right? Just a little bit of a little push, and I'm going to start putting a bit of jig rhythm in it as a result. Like that, okay? So let's put our helmets on, strap our seatbelts, and let's get going. 2 times each. 1, 2, 3, and... It was like a medium jig feel there that I was sinking into nicely. Now, how did everybody do with that rhythm? Did it screw with you too much? A bit. It's a little different, eh?
The problem is it has to do with the mug of brown ale where we change the notes. You know, we scribbled out notes.
Yes.
I'm stumbling on my scribbled notes.
Okay. Well, do them separate. Anytime there's a stumble point, just take it out and do it separate, and you should stumble less. And try to identify what the big thing is. For me, it's the big long B, eh? Da da A B C D. That's for me. That's what makes me remember that bit. Is the big long B. Okay. Now, everybody else okay? Anybody get kind of pushed around by the jig rhythm, or were you able to kind of make it happen a little bit? Oh, that's great. That's great. So we'll try faster. Okay, well, next time. We're done for now. Well, we're gonna learn Knopman's Rambles next time. Okay, we're gonna learn that tune. We'll work on the old a Shogun, and anybody that wants to make me a video of a Shogun, so I can hear your sound production and your intonation, I would just love that. That would be wonderful to hear that. I never get to hear anybody, you know. And I've been doing it with beginner class. They've been sending me videos of very simple little tunes that I put up on the internet, and it's working out really good. The feedback is working out really good. So if you felt like doing that, I would just love it. Okay? Otherwise, prepare yourself for more jigs next time. And thanks a million, everybody. And it's great to have you there, Pearl.
Susan added something in the chat if you want to have a look.
She did.
Before everybody goes.
Oh, ending. What's this now? Ending variation. Oh, let me see what this is all about now. Hold on here.
Only because I couldn't follow it myself, so I had to look for a cheat sheet.
Okay. Why can't I see it?
I always have a hard time opening these. It doesn't want
Yeah.
to do it for me.
Oh, it's doing it now.
I have to save it and then I can open it.
It's doing it now. This new computer, I recorded the orchestra rehearsal last night, and then I went to hit save, and it wouldn't save because my terabyte hard drive is full of videos. My God! So I did some work today trying to. Okay, so yeah, there you go. There you go. Oh wow, look at that one. Anyway, so you can have a crack at that if you want to.
Which one were you doing? The middle one?
The middle one is what we're doing, yes.
Okay.
The middle one, okay? That's interesting, you know, that a lot of people play this tune in different ways, so it's good to get through that and straighten
Oh,
it
look
out.
at that third line. That looks terrible.
It's worth working on. I'm going to have a crack at it, that's for sure. Anyway, so there you go, guys. So we'll see you next Thursday, and thanks a million, okay?
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.